Spirit Team Most High, I declare this a safe space, a healing space. May all negative vibes coming at us be sent back to sender. Hey guys, welcome back. I greet you all with an open heart. I welcome you all, whether you're live watching it or whether you're watching the replay. I welcome you all. So, I'm back to jump right back into Turning Hell into Heaven, a personal journey, an inspiring personal journey as an empath and light worker by Tobi Staples, copyright 2021, all rights reserved. So where we left off last night was chapter 6, Making a Change. So just as the previous nights for reading, I'm not going to check who's out there and I'm not going to check the comments, but I welcome you all wholeheartedly. And I'm proud of each and every one of you who have made it this far in the first book. All right. High five from far. I hope you enjoy the rest. So, just 1 second before I start reading. What? What happened inside? I'm live right now. Okay, watch it, big head. All right, so sorry about that. That was just something that I had to do. All right, so where were we yesterday? Chapter 6, Making a Change. So, here, I'll jump right into it because I want to get as much done as I possibly can before listening to tonight's Raging Hormones live radio show. Okay, that's Erica Taffel's radio show tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Go and check out her page. You'll find the link. All right, so Chapter 6, Turning Hell into Heaven by Tobi Staples, copyright 2021, Making a Change. I'm beginning to feel the excitement of what life has to offer creeping into my being. Not exactly sure of what the future holds for me. I trust the bigger picture even if I'm not fully aware of my next move. I hold my faith and continue to trust in my soul to guide me as it knows the way. In doing so, I will never go down the wrong path. A very good friend over my lifetime told me that as long as I put my focus on becoming better than ever every day, that it would all be okay in the end. That still remains stuck to me years later. When making any kind of change for yourself out of self-love, you must be realistic with what you expect as an outcome of the change, no matter how big or small. You see, often people make changes about their ways of life, more so than not, based on expected outcomes. Truly, that's not the best way to approach change. Expectations lead to only one thing in the end, and that is disappointment. You may be thinking, well, not all the time. Let me explain why I feel like this. Whenever we place an expectation attached to anything, no matter what it is, after living it through, what we feel is never able to reach the magnitude of the expectation that we had initially anticipated, therefore leaving us with a certain disappointment, whether we voice it or not. This is why when making any change, it is important to understand that whatever you are doing to make a change, no matter how significant or not it may feel at the time, you mustn't attach any expectation of an outcome to that change. Just hold faith about the change, that it will produce the best outcome. This way, it allows you to be grateful for the outcome, not expecting it. You shouldn't do things in life for expected outcomes. You should do anything in life firstly because it is what you feel that you want to do in your heart. Secondly, because you want to feel the experience, which benefits you in the long run either way. Good or bad doesn't matter. It is all in the learning. In reality, we set our own limits about In reality, we set our limits about any outcome by thinking about it. Making a change, entrust it to the universe as to the best outcome. You'll see the benefits of the small changes be greatly amplified when the universe determines the outcome. You just have to believe. It's as simple as that. I made some small changes when realizing that my human being was simply an accumulation of my life experiences wrapped in all the unhealthy lifestyle choices that I was making for myself. No matter what we live in the human experience, it is a fact that you have created it for yourself. When you are truly able to get past yourself and understand your essence of life, you will decide to better treat your body. This enables your soul to have its human experience as being exactly who you have been all of your life. We have gotten used to catering to our emotional needs, so much so that we have abused our physical bodies in the process and forgetting our own souls along the way. Little small changes for your own physical and mental health will ensure longevity. How can I be sure of this? Well, let me make it clear. In order for you to make the best decisions in regards to change is firstly to identify your unhealthy habits. We all have them. You're the one who will know better than anybody what changes you need to make. Actively take part in a healthy lifestyle for yourself. The goal being to get the most out of your life. Take a good look at the way you operate within your human experience as a person on the planet. Then take a good look at how you treat yourself and others. Do you practice positive self-talk? Did you know the person that you will talk Did you know the person that you will talk to the most throughout your life is yourself? Self-talk guides, comforts, ignites, and drives us. This is why it must be practiced positively. You are feeding your being with it. I didn't realize how destructive I was with my own self-talk until I took a look at the things that I would tell myself. It was only then that I could make powerful change of practicing positive self-talk. I feel strongly about the fact that every human being because of our own free will, has so much room for improvement. How many people are living as the best version of themselves? They may think that they are living their best life, maybe, but very few on this whole planet can actually say that they are actually living as the best version of themselves. We as a whole could do a lot better when it comes to the way we treat ourselves and others. I understand the importance of this now more than ever. Being already past the midpoint of my human experience, I throughout my life have been outstanding in the care that I gave others. I had no clue how to give myself what I truly needed, though. In fact, when looking back at how I treated myself, I abused my body totally. And I'm having to work harder to reach a healthy state of being within an already damaged and very broken human body. Some of my health issues are genetic. My father displaying the same degenerative disc disease in his lower back that had presented itself in my lower back. Maybe through genetics I am predisposed to certain things, but it is up to me to dwell in a body free of disease by allowing and giving the body what it needs to repair itself. I have actively participated in my own healing many times, not having the immune system to do it for me. Which honestly now I do believe that I have successfully healed through the source of love. When you realize the power of your body, actually can, when you realize what the power of your body actually consists of, it is then that you will understand the true nature of the body to heal itself. You only have to give it the right conditions to do so. You can command your body to heal, and it will do exactly that. That's what I've done many times when facing death. Actively nurturing and loving my human being, my self-talk has become very kind, gentle, and loving. I am so aware of my own energy and its force. I have totally recovered from total septic shock while admitted in the ICU, in isolation for a month. All organs were failing. My kidneys had stopped functioning, no longer manufacturing any urine. My liver was failing. The microbiologist, who had been following me for some time, stood by my hospital bedside telling me that I was going to die within 16 hours from that moment of my head-to-toe assessment. My mother asked me what would I like to eat for my last meal, and the family was called to say their goodbyes. The stopwatch of my last moments had begun. My mother managed to bring me the mashed potatoes and gravy that I had requested as my last meal. Let me just explain why I asked for that. All my life, I had loved mash with gravy, and it has been a go-to comfort food. I was fully aware that before I got to the hospital that day that I was going to die. I was at the point that I was slowly connecting to the spirit world, as I began to see spirits earlier on that day. This didn't frighten me at all because of the numerous brushes with death that I had previously survived. During every one of my previous battles, I would know how close to death I actually was by how connected I was to the spirit world. I had known that death was nearing for the 3 days leading up to me being admitted in the ICU. The difference this time was that I was accepting my fate. I wanted to die. I was prepared for it. Look how life works. Let me explain those 3 days. The trauma of my car accident in 2010 had stopped my immune system from functioning properly. For years, the team of doctors that were following me were convinced that I had no chance of survival and that it was all a matter of time before I died. I actually believed them, not knowing what I know to be true today. About 4 days prior to the ICU visit, I started receiving messages through intuition telling me to prepare my kids, my mom, and get rid of all the drugs and evidence of any substance use of any kind out of my duplex at the time. I was being warned that I was going to die within the next 3 days. That it would be very traumatic for anybody coming in to find me dead. Finding stuff in my house on top of it would not be a very thoughtful memory to leave behind for them. It had been enough for them to endure that I couldn't manage to find anything to stay sober about. My family had painfully suffered the ripple effects of my self-inflicted suffering for years. My life at the time wasn't a good enough reason for me to keep fighting. So the thought of death was exciting to me. Over the next 2 days, I spent my time getting rid of anything that I wouldn't want anybody to find after I had died. I'm fearless when it comes to death, knowing what truly awaits me. I was not nervous about dying. I was in denial as to how sick my body and mind truly was. My body had begun to go into septic shock over the course of 2 days. I felt every bit of it happening to me. I began coughing blood. My body hurt worse than it ever had. I couldn't keep any food down. I could feel my life force slowly withering away. Being allergic to painkillers throughout my life, I have had to endure even all the holes in my body with no pain meds. So I felt everything. This is a main reason for years of self-medicating. Knowing fully what was happening to me the morning of the 3rd day, I put a fresh sheet on my couch where I lay so that I could say goodbye to my roommate before he left for work. I couldn't allow him to feel bad about not saying goodbye the last chance he got. And I wanted to give him some final instructions. I believe that he just may end up to be the one who finds me dead. The morning of the day I ended up in ICU was supposed to be my final day, or so I had believed. I was ready for it, not ever expecting the turn of events. My roommate was leaving for work. Finding me on the couch was totally out of character for me. When he asked me what I was doing, I told him that I was waiting to die. I explained that I wouldn't be here anymore when he returned from work that day. I knew I was about to die, and that I wanted to do so at home. Without any medical intervention, I expressed to him how sorry I was, but he would have to call my mother once he found me. I could feel death approaching. Even though my roommate begged me to go to the hospital, I had refused. I had been suffering for years with open, painful holes all over my body. I was fed up with living in such physical pain. I had fully accepted my checkout, and I wanted to be free of the hell that I had been living. I was so calm about it because my intuition kept telling me not to resist, to just accept it. Don't fight the natural process. So let me start that line again. I was so calm about it because my intuition kept telling me not to resist, to just accept it. Don't fight the natural process, and the transition to the spirit world would be a smooth one. After hugging me and asking me if this is what I truly wanted, he said that he loved me and respected my decision because he had witnessed first-handedly the suffering I endured. We cried together briefly, and he left for work. I went back to the couch to greet death. The purpose of me lying down the clean sheet was so that they wouldn't have a hard time moving me. I figured that it would be easier getting my body out of the house from there instead of my bed. I owned 5 beautiful pit bulls at the time, who I walked daily. Sorry, guys. Okay. I owned 5 beautiful pit bulls at the time, who I walked daily without leashes, and my pack stayed with me. The reality was, if I had died in my bed, those dogs would have never let anybody into my bedroom. I chose to die on the couch so nobody would have to shoot any of my dogs to get to my body. I had told absolutely nobody of what I was going through. in fear that people would attempt to convince me to fight to stay alive and endure more worldly suffering. As I awaited my departure, I felt safe to leave my front door unlocked. Wasn't expecting anybody to come over until at least after lunch, so I figured that I had time to die before anybody showed up that day. On the couch in silence, I could feel my body completely shutting down, slowly as the minutes passed. Had been monitoring my urine output to see when the 24 marker to death was, and it had already passed. It would be any time within the following hours that I would be free from my suffering, or at least that is what I was hoping for. The more that I could taste blood coming from my lungs, I knew that I wouldn't last much longer. I had a very friendly relationship with the gentleman and his family who was at the time living above me. Lots of laughs together while both standing outside, chit-chatting, enjoying our morning coffees as the dogs ran around. I had never in a million years expected or known that he would have been the one to save my life. He refused to allow me to die. It was that simple. I heard footsteps over my head, but had assumed that the family who lived there had already left for work that day. My morning coffee buddy suddenly came running downstairs. I assumed that he was leaving for the day, but was sadly mistaken as he walked through my front door, excited to show me something that he had discovered. Whenever he came to see me, he never just walked into my place unannounced or uninvited. That morning, he walked right in. Now, I am glad that he did, even though at the time I wasn't happy about it at all. When he saw me lying on the couch, he immediately asked what I was doing, because I never would lay down on the couch. When I replied that I was just waiting to die, he immediately, without any hesitation, called 911 from his cell phone, telling them that they had better hurry because it was a matter of life and death. I was not impressed with him calling for an ambulance, so I tried to stand up in an attempt to end that call. As I stood up, all of my veins began exploding in my feet, causing immediate bruising. With every attempt at an additional step, I watched the veins throughout my body, my legs explode. By the time I got back to the couch, I had major bruising throughout the entirety of my body. Every patch of bruising throughout the core of my body was situated over major organs. For example, bruising over the area of both kidneys, my liver, my pancreas, and bruising above my heart, over my heart. Now, eventually these bruises turned into lesions that were leaking poison by the 24-hour mark after being admitted to the ICU. This is how septic my body had become over the course of 4 days. I believed at this point that there was no bigger plan for my life. I couldn't see one, nor even begin to imagine anything good becoming of it. Was always expecting my outcome to be death. The living proof of the bigger picture is that I am now an empowered empath and now understand my life mission here on earth as a light worker. While living in darkness, I couldn't see the light, never mind finding my own. The ambulance arrived shortly after I was yelling at my coffee buddy for disrupting my death. I laugh about it now, but it wasn't funny during it. After a month of lengthy recovery in the ICU, discharged directly home, I'm still here to share it with you. From that point of my discharge from ICU, I knew that I seriously had to change my life drastically if I had chosen to live. Drifting through my own hell here on earth had become no longer an option for my existence, once really understanding my body's true healing abilities. It was by the grace of God that I was given a second chance to become the best version of myself. To be granted this, I promised in return that I would embrace being the loving person that I truly am, to be a positive influence for all who cross my path. So in a way, I was reborn into a purpose through that struggle, but still not yet fully understanding it all. Times have changed now for me. Day by day, I try my hardest not to fall from grace throughout my day, which in itself can be be difficult as I'm human. I'm always trying to make personal changes. Being a very big coffee lover over the past 20 years, I continuously drank my coffees all day, loaded as a double-double. Very unhealthy when I looked at my habits. So I decided to cut out sugar and cream. I've been still consuming coffee throughout the day, but now it's black. It may not seem like much of a change for most. Thinking, oh, that's not a big deal, but it truly is. I changed something that I had been continuously doing for 20 years. That's huge when you see it truly for what it is. I had a hard time keeping my energy balanced while I was at home. Realizing the accumulation of all of the small clutter in my apartment was triggering me to feel aggravated. I purged, started my journey of clearing anything from my house that no longer serves me of any purpose. Every other day, I tackle a junk drawer, a shelf of a closet, and get rid of anything that I really don't need. It frees up so much space for a refreshed energy. After a great purge in my house on Friday afternoon, I was able to sit down and manifest my first book with ease once the energy had been cleared out of my space. It is just not enough to know what I should do if I'm not applying it into my life. What good does thinking about something do if you don't put it into action? We scatter our energies like this, feeding our energy into the attention that we give things. Thoughts with no real intention of manifesting anything. The place of thought can mislead you, and this is why you must remain in a place of feeling. Thought comes from the brain, whereas feeling comes from the heart, in my understanding of it. For change to be effective in your life, it must be something that comes from within you, for your benefit and well-being. Self-discovery is an exciting adventure, opening you up to all that you're made of, that you are made up of. One of the most difficult things for me was changing the way that I had been thinking about myself. To assist with such a change, I needed visual reminders to keep my mindset in check. I plastered my walls throughout my living space with motivational and inspirational sayings, making sure the walls of my personal space encased me in as much positivity as humanly possible. In the attempts of changing a once destructive mindset, changing a destructive mindset takes time and patience with yourself. The onset of frustration appears when we feel that we can't control our mind. It's an ongoing process to rebuild a healthy mindset, and it certainly doesn't happen overnight. I had been a work in progress for years, but now am extremely successful in nourishing and maintaining my mindset. You have to start somewhere. Really give it your all. Being gentle with yourself along the way. Be the change that others need to see in order to motivate them to do better. I have taken what I have learned and applied it to my life. We are forever changing every day. Become reconnected with yourself, your true self. Commit to making whatever changes you need to become the best version of yourself, leading by example in a loving way. Extend help to those who need it. Be a motivating force, spreading inspiration. In this world, any little acts of kindness are very much needed. Mostly make the changes in your life that are limiting you from reaching your personal fullest potential. The reality of it is this. Whatever the limitations are that are stopping you from making the changes, you have been set into existence by you alone. You alone must remove them from your decision-making process and make some positive changes. Change the state of hell from within, and you will never be without heaven. All right, chapter 7, emotions are man-made. My intention for this specific chapter is to fully help you understand why I feel that emotions are man-made. I like to look at it this way because in doing so, my emotions lose their ability to govern my decision-making process, leaving them powerless over my being. Emotions and biological effects of them on our physical body, whether good or bad, do have a profound impact on our total being if we choose to give them the power to do so. Some say that they are incapable of controlling their emotions. That in itself can leave you very powerless within yourself. What I say is this: if you can't control your emotions, then who can? I want for you to understand that the thinking brain is very much part of your human experience. It is functionally essential in maintaining the homeostasis of the body. This is true. We don't have to think of the air that we breathe or even the processes of breathing for that matter. We don't focus on how our body is digesting the food every time we eat. We don't think about our daily bodily function as our brain takes care of this for us. We do not have to think about it. Our brain knows how to sustain our human body's balance within the interconnections of all of its internal systems without us being involved. This is the reason we have a brain. If we had to consciously think about all of the operations happening within our bodies, we wouldn't have the time for anything else. I feel this is why we only use 10% of our brains. Maybe it's because our Creator knew that allowing the human experience to have free will has been disastrous enough throughout history. If we had access to the full capacity of the human brain, we would have become extinct. Simple. So much truth in that. Okay, being an empath throughout my life, I know that there is a very large difference between thinking and feeling. Thinking comes from the brain and the mindset in which you choose to maintain within it, whereas feeling comes from your intuition, which comes from your heart. It's an easy thing to understand once you know that your heart is your first brain that senses absolutely everything before your thinking brain even has the time to receive and process it. The heart is the place of connection to the soul, this being the true source of your intuition. Reconnecting with my soul reconnected me to my heart, showing me that the highly intelligent brain has its own functions for sustaining my life. I won't discredit that in any way, but my brain has its work cut out already working for me. I just have to stay out of its way and let it do its job without interference. When we incarnate, we don't think with our brains. We incarnate solely using our hearts to guide us in the beginning. This is why factually, if an infant is not shown love and nurturing, it will not survive. It is as we grow, we are programmed to think. No, it is as we grow, we are programmed to use our thinking brains, soon being made to believe that we need to be constantly thinking about everything. We are taught, conditioned, and programmed to think constantly about everything. Taught that we should be thinking about how we should be feeling. This does not work to any human's advantage. Real knowledge does not come from your brain. The real knowledge lies within your soul, not within the brain. It is the soul that eternally is alive, remaining constantly connected to the one source of life for all. This rooted connection to source contains all of the knowledge of everything ever manifested. We are connected to this in our physical body through our heart. So I guess I got to move that light. It's starting to get a little warm. Okay. Through our heart. Let me see here. Your heart has an electrical current that makes it pump to work. This current of electrical energy comes from your soul and the energy contained within all. The heart is a major player for your body to function. When your heart stops, it's over and your soul leaves your body. This is why the heart is shocked with electricity in an attempt to get it to beat again to restore one's life. I believe what saved me when I was battling for life the last time was the fact that I have a loving heart. Intuition and that gut feeling is never something that you have to think about. You feel it. You just know without any doubt or question about it. No matter what, if you think about it and then silence the mind to allow your intuition to answer you, it will. It does this by giving you two sensations. One being a good sensation, leaving with you with an undoubtable answer that it is the right thing to do. The second sensation being an uncomfortable, sometimes sickening feeling, again leaving with you with an unquestionable answer. This should be the extent of our so-called thinking, is to allow our intuitions to guide us. This kind of thinking comes from the heart, not the brain. Understanding this is an important starting point to realizing that emotions are man-made. It was for me. Our hearts receive information first, which science has actually proven now, then transmitted to the brain through the base of our neck. This is where the information will be processed by the brain to alter its sustaining life functions according to what your heart is initially picking up. This is where emotions come into play. We have been living with a programmed mindset that makes us believe that we cannot alter or control our emotions, but we actually can. Instead of recognizing emotions as warning signs, we give them energy. Emotions arise within us because of the information sent from the heart to the brain. Let it work for you and not against you, as emotions have their own valid role to play within your brains. This is a choice that every person has to make for themselves. While being stuck in any emotion, regardless of it, being a positive or negative one, you will never reach the logical understanding of anything. This is a big part of the emotional intelligence. Understand that whatever is contained in the human body is that of the human being. Our soul remains connected to our bodies through our hearts to experience its human experience. The source of all creation is pure, divine, unconditional love and light. Within this love contains all the source information for all. Our soul always remains connected to our body during our experience on earth. This is the source of all existence, which truly connects us all. It is those of pure heart that, with the necessary work done, will find their soul connection within themselves. In doing so, this will access this source of information contained within this love. Those who have drifted a little further into their minds instead of remaining in their hearts, well, they may just have a little more work to do to get back there. Factually, no matter what happens as a part of your human experience, will ever disconnect you from source. Within this source intelligence, there is no place for the thinking brain, as that is for the human body's use to sustain vital homeostasis within the body. Our soul is merely connected to our thinking brain through our hearts that feel. This consciousness that runs our whole experience sees and knows the big picture. As individuals, we are a tiny speck within the big master plan. Everything is so highly calculated down to the consumption of air to sustain one's life over a lifetime, to be real with it. We waste so much energy resisting what seems to be already planned out for us. We come from the source and accept our human experience before incarnating, so we must have trusted the plan initially. I don't believe that our soul embarked and agreed to live out our human experience on a whim. Everything in existence is too highly calculated for sustainability for that to happen. We as people have been thinking from a place of, we as people have been thinking from a place of your human being, which truly is your false being. It is your false being because it is an accumulation of experiences and your existence on earth. Everything that is contained within the human stays within the human being and dies with it. Meaning that the soul attaches and binds to the body, penetrating the body, but the body never penetrating the soul. So whatever exists within your being is of the human and not of the soul. When coming from this soulful place, you are only capable of feeling love, nothing else. There is nothing else that exists within the soul. This love that makes up the entirety of our soul contains all within it. So I want to be clear that real love is not an emotion as it has been made to believe. Love is actually our truest nature of all existence. Everything comes from love and returns to love. So if your soul is made up of this love, then it is clear to say that everything else is man-made through our human experience. We put so much power into emotions when we could be using it for better things, such as creating our own heaven here on earth. Emotions are key players in keeping us believing that we must think from our brains instead of feeling with our hearts. We feed power into our emotions by validating them and giving them life. We amplify our emotions to become what they are. They only contain the power that we choose to give them, no matter what emotion it is. Humans create their emotions unique to their experience. We are the ones that give them power and fuel them. We are capable of choosing whatever emotion we would like to believe we must be feeling. Then logically, our emotions are man-made. Being the case, then, you should never allow any emotion to govern your being, as it is only a very small part of your being that we mismanage because of programming and conditioning. Emotions have their rightful function within our body. It is a function to assist the brain in maintaining our homeostasis, balance within our body. Emotions, no matter what one it may be, have a biological effect on our body, proving the important function of aiding the human brain to maintain balance. To think that emotions are anything but man-made would be in denial of their true functional purpose for your being. Let emotions serve their functional purpose within the brain for balance, nothing more, nothing less. It takes time to recondition your thought processes once you are awakened to the truth of it all. With this knowledge, it gets easier day by day to embrace the true essence of your being, to trust its guidance. It does take some work, but do it. You matter, and you're worthy of it. Simple. My experience validates this for me. Coming from a place of my thinking brain, there is so much trauma, pain, suffering, with so much emotion that is attached to it all. What I think about myself and what I feel to be right about myself are totally different views. To be completely honest, after realizing the difference, I have chosen to stay out of my brain. There's no thinking needed when you allow yourself to truly feel. This is why it is said that you should always follow your heart about something, because that is always the right choice. Well, this definitely doesn't come from your brain. When following our gut feelings or intuition, there is no thinking required. This is always the best choice. The minute we allow the brain to get into our thinking mode, it serves us no good. We shouldn't be attempting to control our brains by bombarding it with unnecessary thought. Our brain already has a life-sustaining job to do. Unlearn this programmed conditioning of man-made emotions and reconnect with your soul. Relearn how to feel from your heart. From that moment, your life will change for the better. Your physical is man-made. Okay? Therefore, everything within it is man-made. So yes, emotions are man-made. Understanding their true purpose within you is to play a role in the balance of your being Let them do their job without putting any energy into them. By putting energy into them, whether good or bad, we alter our body's balance no matter what. This proves the importance of remaining calm. We should not be allowing emotions to be the cause of imbalance. As their jobs are to keep the body balanced. Let's learn some effective mantras to help keep you calm. So guys, we've hit chapter 8, effective mantras. Well, the book is coming to an end soon. The rest of this read is very quick and easy. So let's get her done. All right. Chapter 8, effective mantras. Originally known to Hinduism and Buddhism, a mantra would be a word or sound that was repeated by somebody to help them concentrate during meditation practices. A mantra is also known to be simply a slogan or a statement that is frequently repeated. When speaking, we give life to our words throughout the energy that we put into them. This is why we should only speak when absolutely necessary. Less is more. We should speak with more intention and less filler. Conversations in life have become somewhat mediocre, filled with senseless, useless, wasted energy, lacking meaning. Real conversations are the ones that you are motivated, encouraged, and inspired by. If these are not the kinds of conversations that you are maintaining, then focus on constructing more meaningful talks with the people that matter to you in your life. I have effectively used mantras that were personal to my situation in order to command certain things, such as my healing. There are no set phrases that are a guide to creating your personal library of mantras that work for you. I have learned from my experience, seeing as I change daily, I will come up with whatever my heart feels to be fit for that moment. I use a mantra when starting to feel emotions creeping up on me, like, there is nothing of greater power than the power contained within my soul. This empowers my soul and takes away any power from the emotion that attempted to take my power. When taking care of my 3-year-old great niece for a 6-month period, I began morning rituals with her to install certain belief systems within her in the hopes that she would be able to continue to embrace her true power as she was so naturally already doing so. So every morning while in the mirror, I would ask her to talk to her. I would have her talk to her mirror image. I had done it with her so many times that I would sometimes hear her as she went into the bathroom on her own, reciting her morning mantra throughout the later moments within the day. It would put the biggest smile on my face knowing that she truly believed it. She always put her name before every line. We always put her name before every line of the mantra. In this book, her name will be replaced by brackets, parentheses, with ... closing parenthesis. I believe that all children should be saying morning mantras. We would have less medicated children attempting to get through life, empowering all children of any age to start their day like this, no matter what their living situations. This is good for all ages to do daily. From that moment, I had wished that I had done this early in my life with my own children. The daily morning mantra. To be recited in front of the mirror, replace the dots with your name, You will be able to feel the power within this mantra immediately. So this is the mantra that I had her. I'm coming out of the book to explain it. I'm not watching who's there or whatever the comments right now. This is the morning mantra that I would have my niece standing in front of the mirror, reciting to her own mirror image of herself. Okay? And this was a couple of years ago, right? So, the opening of it is, I am. And then, I say in the book, add your name and add your name within the qualities, okay? So, I'm going to replace the dots with my name so that you can understand the flow of it. So, if I'm standing in the mirror, looking at my mirror image, this is what I would be telling myself. Tobi is smart. Tobi is strong. Tobi is capable. Tobi is caring. Tobi is kind. Tobi is loving. Tobi is patient. And Tobi is amazing. Today is going to be a great day, and I am loved. So that was the mantra that I would have her recite in front of the mirror every morning without fail. So much so that she would go into the bathroom on her own. Every time she would see the mirror, she would recite it on her own, with her name in it, empowering her own being. Thinking about it now, I should have really added is grateful too. Do it. I didn't think of it then. I realize more so now than ever the importance of gratitude, as this determines your attitude. Being grateful for even the air that helps sustain your life determines your attitude towards it. Being grateful for everything is the key to creating your heaven. So be grateful that there is only pure love and gratitude contained within your heart. Then you are set for the rest of your human experience to be fruitfully abundant in all aspects of life. Be creative with whatever you decide is appropriate for your mantra. We are free to put energy into whatever we choose. When giving our life force to anything, it should be the right thing. There are many times when I've been overwhelmed, feeling a little lost, and the mantra that was most effective during these times was, there's a lesson in everything. Present yourself. During times of extreme pain, I would tell myself, I'm stronger than any pain. You will not hinder me. When stressed, just breathe. It's all a part of a bigger picture. When I'm not feeling 100% like myself, I'm me and I'm okay. I always just went with the flow, just making sure whatever it was that I was saying was positive. Every attempt at altering a state of being, I used the mantra. And this has helped me, this has never failed me. During my healing process, I would tell my body, you have all that you need to heal. I'm stepping out of your way. I surrender to healing. I'm here, so it was effective for me. We just have to take a split second to stop and correct our thinking processes quicker than any emotion has the time to take over. Life can be so difficult for all of us, depending on a lot of human factors. No matter what you have going on in your life, you have a soul. That is your source existence. It's important to maintain your essence of life by being true to your own being first and foremost. We all have been conditioned and programmed to think and feel a certain way. When we are aware of this, we start to honor our true essence. Reciting a mantra helps you reinstall a healthy thought process. Way too many of us through life feeling unworthy, so repeated convincing will install a belief attached to it. Okay? So I'm going to say that over. Way too many of us go through life feeling unworthy, so repeated convincing will install a belief attached to that. If you say out loud, I am worthy, many times daily, you will begin to feel worthy in days that follow. My daily mantra? Every day I begin my day with, I am grateful for my life and everything contained within my experience. I have been given this day to make the best of it. I am open to receive whatever today has to offer in all of its glory. I will walk trustfully guided by my soul as it already knows the way. I'm usually awake before the sunrise in the morning. At the sunrise, I'll go to the window and give thanks for the sun and all of its mightiness. As soon as the sun rays are strong enough to be felt on my face, I say another daily mantra that works for me. You are my inspiring force of light as you brighten the world with your warming rays. Fill my heart and my human body with all the light and love that it can possibly hold within every cell of my being. Well, every cell of my being is not in the book, but that I truly say every morning. So sorry about that, guys. Let me go back. I will read you exactly what I wrote with no additions that I put in personally, okay? You're my inspiring force of light as you brighten the world with your warming rays. Fill my heart and human body with all the light and love that it can contain, that it can possibly hold within every cell, so that I might carry out your work on earth. I'm forever grateful to you, your power, and I thank you for shining today. Then I simply return to whatever I was doing. Usually by that time in the morning, I'm halfway through listening to a lecture of one of the many motivational speakers that I enjoy listening to. Implementing mantras into your life is easy to do. It takes maybe 2 or 3 minutes of your time to do, but it can affect the way the rest of your day goes. The fun about it is that you could literally be standing doing your dishes and empowering yourself by reciting the right things out loud. You have to take a look at it from this aspect. When we are training our children to think, we are repetitive so that if they hear it enough, it becomes hardwired. So we think. This is the same technique that you will have to use on yourself if you're relearning a proper way of thinking. This is something that you will feel the results of over time. I can't deny the immediate positive effects, but over time, you will feel a greater change. You must be patient and loving with yourself, especially now. Creating my mantras, I have one standard rule, which is the same that applies for my toolbox. There is no room for any negativity of any kind to be contained within it. I have faith that you will come up with the most effective mantra for yourself. Have some fun with it. Be creative with an empowering intention to drive your mantra. Remember when doing so that the most powerful statements to say begin with I am. Now that you are able to find healthy mantras, let me show you how to unwind with some easy meditations. Enjoy. All right, we're really nearing the end of the book. Sounds like really quick. All right, this is great. Chapter 9, Easy Meditations. Understand that you can create any meditation that caters to you. There is never a set amount of time that anybody must meditate for. To meditate is to think deeply or to focus one's mind for a period of time in silence or as a method of relaxation. Another meaning is to think deeply or carefully about something, to plan mentally or to consider. With such a busy world today, being forced to live within all of the daily hustle and bustle, with the juggling of our lives, we need some type of peace within it all. This is why the ones who are able to will find the means to enjoy nature or a country cabin to escape to, are all seeking a form of tranquility. Everybody craves peace within them. We are just so programmed to look externally for it. The peace that I want to find is the peace that I want you to find is the peace beyond all forms of understanding. The only place to find this peace is within yourself. Within my recent experience of my breakthrough, I found a peace that surpasses all understanding of the human brain. All of my previous understanding of what I thought was peace was actually just my own thought of it. Now I feel at peace, and that is much different. You see, over the course of the past few weeks, reconnecting with my soul being and breaking past my self-inflicted blockages, I have gained such an understanding of life as a whole that I am at peace within my being. I have realized this peace is really contained within my soul because I can feel the source of love that this peace resides within also. I speak of a peace that is so deep within the core of my being. No matter what is happening in my experience of life, this peace can't be shifted. I wish for all to find this peace. It is within you. Just open your heart and reconnect yourself to it. It is there. If you're reading this book, you have a soul. This peace is contained within it. You already have it within your essence, but you don't realize it. Meditations have helped me through life profoundly. I practice meditation with my intentions of healing myself often. Life has continued for me, so this proves to me that my healing has been very effective and successful. They are also helpful to just put everything on pause for a moment and self-love. When I feel messages or vibes or energies telling me something, I will always meditate on it. This is what helps me to get the information that I do need about what my heart is picking up on. Meditation is a healthy way of taking some time for yourself and calmly sorting things within. I started off doing very simple meditations that were easy to do, only lasting for the duration that I wanted them to. I'm going to explain a couple. I would really be happy if you took the time to try them. These are some of the easiest meditations that you could ever do. Simple ones that I have personally used throughout my journey. For these meditations, you don't need to be sitting on the floor in a cross-legged position with the proper posture in the attempts of fully aligning with the consciousness because you aren't there yet. Just simply find yourself a comfortable spot where you can relax with no interruptions of any kind. Yes, mute your phone, shut off the TV, turn off the radio, allow yourself some time to get the most out of your 5-minute meditation and return some much needed balance within. If you want to truly embrace the positive change that comes from practicing meditation, then intentionally get the most out of the experience by remaining present, comfortable, disconnected from your world. I want you to focus. All right, so you know what? Since we're going to do it like this, guys, I'm about to take you through a meditation. Okay? So, I have never vocalized this meditation out loud. It was something for somebody to read and then go within and try it for themselves. So, we may as well do a guided meditation through it. Okay? So, it won't be too much guided, but it'll be, I'm going to read this to you. And if you put your focus on what I'm about to say, you will actually feel the effects of it. All right? So I want you guys to get comfortable and release all the tension in your body. Absolutely everything. And you don't have to stop thinking. Just put your attention and awareness on your being and relax. All right. So comfortable, disconnected from your world. I want you to focus first on your breathing. Not attempting to change it. Just focus on it. Feel the air. You inhale, filling your being with life. Feel your exchange, allowing the exchange of all that should be released. Give yourself the time to really become one with your breathing. Slowly release all the tension from your body. Relax your body and put your attention to your physical being. If you feel any tension within yourself, focusing on your breathing, release whatever tension you feel to all that you are exhaling. While inhaling, focus on the air that is entering your body. Let it travel to the tension. Break it up. And then release the tension on your exhale. Repeat this until your whole body feels relaxed. If at any time during this you feel distracted, which will happen at first, just don't stay there in distraction. Always returning your focus to your breathing. You will quickly regain your focus to relax. We all get distracted in the beginning. The thing to remember is that everybody is a beginner before they are skilled. Now being relaxed, let's take an adventure together. I want you to close your eyes and visualize a beautiful fireplace. All of the specifics of this fireplace are of your choosing. Design it as you wish. It is your personal incinerator. Your fireplace is never ending in the capacity of fire that it can contain. Now, visualize a piece of wood that you would be able to fit into your fireplace. I'd like you to put the focus on its details and be grateful for this piece of wood. Now you have a continuous supply of this wood to access. On each piece of wood that you use, there's a flat surface for you to write whatever you want on it. Go with the flow. Now, look to your gut, finding something coming up that you need to get out. So do it. Put it on the piece of wood. If it's pain, put the word pain on it. Now put the wood in the fireplace. Watch it burn away as it is engulfed within the flames of the fire. Grab another piece of wood. Do the same thing. Repeating with whatever is next to come up. Once you allow your intuition to guide you, your soul will guide you to what you need to heal within yourself. Accept it. Repeat this as many times as you may need to in order to ensure that you have effectively released whatever you need to. Now, when you're ready to stop, I want you to thank your fireplace for actively assisting you with incinerating your troubles to ashes. Open your eyes. Being mindful of what you released helps you to identify the things you don't want to even hang on to or allow your being to contain and house. There's another easy meditation for you to enjoy. Knowing how to relax already, as I explained before, I'm going to jump right into it. Anybody who would like to take part in this meditation, get comfortable again. My balloon. So I'd like you all to focus on your breathing and relax. Be still within yourself. I hope you've cut out any kind of distractions that you possibly could have. Let's take an adventure. Close your eyes. That initial blackness that you see when you first close your eyes is the state to keep while you visualize your favorite colored balloon in a deflated state. Your balloon is a very special balloon that is incapable of popping. Embrace how your favorite color warms your heart when studying it. Be grateful for that feeling. Now, you will put this balloon to your mouth with the intent of inflating it with your very breath. You would already know how to blow up a balloon. With your inhaled breath, I want you to, with your inhaled breath into your body, visualize this breath going deep inside of you to retrieve whatever is buried that needs to be let go of. with your exhaled breath, visualize that it is negative. Visualize whatever is negatively affecting your life released into the balloon. Remembering to inflate your balloon with all your troubles. Every breath will help you let go of things that have negatively been affecting you. With every repetition, you witness the balloon inflate larger and larger. Once you feel satisfied from within with this process, you can now let go of your inflated balloon containing all your troubles and watch it float off into nothingness until it is no longer visualized in your mind. Show gratitude to that nothingness by thanking it for consuming all that had been troubling you. Open your eyes. All right, so this is one that I always practice if I'm having trouble falling asleep. Make sure that you are in bed to do this one, because the majority of the time I have fallen asleep way before I have reached the core of my body. No different than any other meditation, you should first make sure that you are fully relaxed before actively starting. Honestly, the bedtime meditation that is here, I don't encourage you guys all to take part in it right now because you will fall asleep. Okay? What I will do is I will run through it with a read, but yeah. Okay? You just might fall asleep if you try this one now. Get into a comfortable sleep position. Close your eyes. Starting at my toes, working towards the top of my head, I thank each part of my body for all it had to carry and endure for me totally effortlessly during my day. Releasing all tension from that focused area, I slowly work my way through each part, not skipping any, to ensure a constant flow of relaxation remains. Excuse me. I allow a tingling sensation to manifest in my toes before moving on to my foot, making sure the energy or tingle moves with the intention throughout every molecule of my focused area as I slowly move the energy through my body. I never made it to the top of my thighs without falling asleep. So enjoy that one. Easy meditations are very beginner friendly. As you grow spiritually, so will the practices you implement into your daily life. There are many useful tools that are accessible in our times. Assisting with different types of meditation. I have just shown you there are easy ways of doing it. Whatever works for you. Be creative and manifest your own type of meditation if you desire to. Always remember to relax, focus, and breathe. As I mentioned earlier, whether you be distracted at any time, should you be distracted at any time, just refocusing to your breathing realigns and continue. The more you meditate, the easier it gets. Remember, always that practice makes perfect. You can implement simple, effective ways of finding some balance within yourself. It is all a part of self-discovery. Remember that you cannot heal what you don't know is hurting you. Allow yourself to heal. You're worthy. All right, guys, it looks like that we are on the last chapter of the book. So, let's do it. Let's get her done. Chapter 10, the end of my book. Creating your heaven. All right. Taking this journey through my experience hopefully has shown you that nothing is impossible. I'm living proof of it. Understanding my hell, many are amazed at how I can maintain a positive outlook. I continue to profoundly change the lives of all of those I come in contact with. It's quite easy now, having come to the understanding that it is all a part of my journey here on earth as a now empowered empath and powerful light worker. What kept me shackled to my hell for so long was my lack of understanding. I got comfortable within the darkness of my own hell instead of truly embracing my mission as a light worker and being an empath capable of transmuting it all. This is exactly how I turned my hell into heaven. Understand that heaven and hell are only states of being here on earth. It's a state of being that we create for ourselves within our experiences. My experience was hell for 46 years until I was able to reconnect with my soul. After many soul retrieval exercises, after the weeks that followed my massive breakthrough, I was able to fully embrace my true essence, having worked on piecing it back together. And in doing so, and in doing the necessary work on myself for myself, I have now created a state of heaven here on earth. I have transmuted all within me that I once believed to be negative about myself and transmuted it into an understanding of my highest form. It is all in the learning that this process is possible. We all have the free will to make choices. This is the one thing that makes humans differ more than anything else. You see, we are all interconnected to one another, so fixing whatever we identify as being broken within ourselves gives us a free will to rebuild it stronger using your life's toolbox that you created for yourself. My toolbox has been essential in my success of building my heaven. Remembering the difference between thinking and feeling helps the process. In this shift into a healthy heavenly state here on earth, my eyes are wide open to what is truly going on in our world today. But the difference now is that seeing the world for truly what it is pushes me to get this understanding of life out to as many people as possible in the attempt to shed some love, light, guidance, and understanding to those who greatly need it. I want people to never feel alone as we are interconnected. It is truly our human bodies that create the separation between our beings. I'm a living example of what society would call a disaster. Yet, I've managed to build a heaven out of my hell without any professional help whatsoever. Sorry, had to peek over. I thought I saw a mouse running through my house. Anyway, if it was, I welcome it. Yet I have managed to build a heaven out of my hell without any professional help whatsoever. There are not too many people I personally know that have fought through life having to exert the force that I've had to in order to stay alive. Yes, we all endure our experience on earth, and it is unique to your being. Really, we can't compare our lives. Our journey is unique to our being. Where you put your attention is where you put your power. I am now committed to sharing with the world all of the infinite possibilities that lie within the world, that lie within when turning hell into heaven. Along my journey, I had joked several times about the fact that I should write a book. That would really help people. Well, let me tell you a little secret that you may not believe to be, but is very true. This validates to me that my heaven is real, and I must show others the way that I did it. Today's Monday. I took the decision to write this book after doing some decluttering on Friday afternoon. So after supper, I sat down just to give it a shot. My intention for this book was to share my experience in such a way that I could give people some hope and faith My intention for this book was to share my experience in such a way that I could give some hope and faith back to as many people as humanly possible. I feel as though this is literally the best way to open the eyes of many who need some guidance. My 3-day creation will hopefully transform the lives of many. I could no longer keep this newly acquired knowledge for myself. With this knowledge comes a responsibility to awaken as many as possible, so I had to share it with the world. Love is the strongest force of our entire existence. I would say that gratitude is the closest runner-up, taking its place as the second most powerful force that exists. Gratitude determines your attitude. We've been able to see this clearly in society, that those with the most negative attitudes are the same ones that would tell you that they have nothing to be grateful for. Start by practicing gratitude and your life will change. Being ungrateful transmits a completely different vibration out into the energy field of love. Being genuinely grateful enhances all of your human experience because you're grateful for it. Start by being grateful for your experience in life. Be grateful that you have been able to progress. Be grateful that you've been able to progress through life on your journey, even if you don't have it all figured out. Use a toolbox for your life lessons as a reminder of all your good qualities within. This is also a helpful reminder of your worth. Take the time to recite an empowering mantra from time to time or as a part of your regular daily routines. Take some time to relax. Take an adventure through meditation, allowing your body to restore its much needed homeostasis. These are important things to do for yourself to install change. Make a change within yourself, and you can do it. Creating a heaven for yourself instead of residing within the comfort of the shackles that bind you to your hell. Remembering that you contain all the necessary information within you. There is no need at all to further continue your unsuccessful external search for peace, love, and tranquility. This is all a part of your true nature, so it's already a part of you. Now that I've created a heaven for myself on earth, I have no doubt that I will be able to maintain it. How could I not? After working so hard to get to where I am? If I can do it, so can you. In my heaven, nothing is impossible because I'm possible. Take all of the knowledge that I've shared with you and take yourself on the adventure of a lifetime by turning your hell into heaven, where there is an infinite amount of possibility. Take all that I have shared, help as many people as possible with insight, Become abundant in all areas, always coming from a place of love. If you only happen to take one thing away from my journey, I hope it is a profound understanding that you can turn hell into heaven. Do the work. You matter. You're worth it. And I love you all. Guys, I want to read to you this special note that I put in the back of my book. Like I said, I didn't read the dedications or anything in the front of my book, but if you guys want to know that, go buy the book. Okay? My special note. I really want to thank each and every person that I've had the honor of crossing paths with during my human experience. No matter how insignificant you may feel it was, it played a huge role in my learning. I'm grateful for each and every encounter. Please be kind, loving, and gentle to yourself and to others. Do your necessary healing. Seek what's hurting you so you may heal. It truly is worth doing the work. You can do it. I love you all. Tobi. So guys, this is the book. And in its completion, I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as I have enjoyed learning about my truest power and the possibilities within it. And I'm really happy you guys all came out to hear the book. And I hope and pray that it fueled some necessary change within your being. Because that's what it's all about. Guys, when you realize that when you're born in your initial state is infinite unconditional love, and you realize that that is the state that we are supposed to function and maintain within our whole life experience, you're going to want to get back to that. Because within that lies the power of every possibility that you could ever possibly want. Nothing is impossible because you're possible. I love you all. Have a great night. Thanks again for coming out. I love and I appreciate you all. You all mattered enough to me for me to do what I'm doing. I love you all. Have a great night. Peace.